Let's go ahead and look at the navigation options in our website. So here we are, we're at MoneyFlows.com. You click on this hamburger here, very simple. You can look at what we offer in terms of our products. So we have an individual level, we have a professional level, which is for those that are more active in terms of their trading and investing. And then there is the enterprise level, which includes our latest advisor solution. So if you are an RIA, you're looking for portfolio analytics, you're going to want to come here and then sign up. You can also find out about us and look at our latest insights. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. We go to latest insights, and from here, you're able to see what our content is that we post on Thursdays and also on Mondays when Alec Young puts together his macro reports. So let's go ahead and look at Alec's latest report as an example. Come here and you can come down and see some great analysis here talking about EPS growth, talking about strong CapEx growth, what that means, etc. So this is a lot of great content. If you are a pro or advisor level subscriber, there is hidden content sometimes below these insights. So make sure to check that out. We have a resources section as well. So if you want to check in on what our products mean, what our big money index does, or see just some other information, you can check there. Once you are a subscriber, you can easily access our portal down here. You can also see our weekly flows report, our outlier 20 report, and our outlier 50 report. So let's go ahead and check that out right now. So here's our weekly report here. Let's go ahead and look at August 10th, 2025. You click here, and we're going to make that a little bit larger. But this is great. This is our weekly flows report. This is putting together a whole culmination of last week's signals and then giving you some thoughts around all of that. So here, right off the top, we can see our big money index fell to 68.1. Why did it fall? Well, we can look by market cap. There was quite a bit of buying and also quite a bit of selling. Anytime you start to have this equalization of buying and selling, that's going to put pressure on our overall index. You can look here at our sector ranks very quickly. Utilities is the top ranked sector. Real estate is the lowest ranked sector. Inside of our weekly flows, we highlight a stock that we believe is going to be an outlier. It's going to be on our top 20 report. Arista Networks is that one, ticker ANET. We know it very, very well. Here we have a nice snapshot of where we are in the big money index. Currently, there is a distribution phase that is happening, very typical of August. We can look at the overall equity flows. So if you want to know why there's been some volatility, well, you can see that selling has started to increase. There's still some buying, but when selling starts to increase, you start to see a little bit more volatility. Let's keep going. Here we can look at all of the sectors and what their flows look like. You can see the technology had some outflows. Industrials had a lot of net inflows. You can see that materials specifically had a lot of inflows. So here you can see by sector what is attracting the most money. Here we have a flow distribution by percent. So this is looking at inflows by sector. This is looking at outflows by sector. So again, this is just giving you a very quick under the radar look at what is happening under the surface. Let's look at why we chose Arista Networks. Well, number one, it's seeing a lot of inflows. In fact, you can see it has had 84 outlier inflows since 2014. And that's what these blue lines mean. That's the stairway to heaven there. Arista Networks is a great company. So not only do you see flow data there, but you can also see some outlier information about that stock. We also have a options profile. So for this week, we're using Celsius Holdings. This is a name that has been very, very strong. They just had outstanding earnings. So we had a bullish risk reversal option idea. You can look at some data here, but here you can see the actual trade idea in this action setup. Continue further, and then you can see write-ups by Jason Bodner. He's one of our co-founders, and he does a very extensive piece every single week talking about what's going on today and, more importantly, what's likely coming tomorrow. So the weekly flows report, very, very awesome. Now let's go ahead and pivot to our Outlier 20 report. And why not go to August? This is where the hitters list showcases itself. All of the outliers eventually have to be on this report. You can see our top 5 this week. We've got Arista Networks. We've got Vital here. We've got Palantir, ACAD, and BZ. Here we can look at the showcase stocks, Supernus Pharmaceuticals, and also Electronic Arts. You can see that Electronic Arts has seen one outlier inflow this year. You can see that by that blue bar. And let's go ahead and look at our top 20. The number 1 ranked stock is Vital Farms. You can also see Arista Networks is up there. So check this out. This is very important. You can see the new inflows. So these are all the tickers in yellow, and that means it is the first time on this report in a 90-day rolling period. Same thing for outflows. The box indicates if a stock is in fact an outlier. And what does an outlier mean? It means it has been on this report at least 20 times. So very few companies have that on this list. We can see Palantir, we can see Arista Networks, we can see Rambus, Electronic Arts, Supernus, Meta Platforms, and F5. Now, if we come down a little bit further, we have 5 broad sector groups, which ranks all of these stocks in our universe. So this one here is looking at our energy, industrials, materials, and utilities groups. You can see right off the bat, the number 1 ranked stock is Palantir, which, by the way, we keep track of the returns as the first time this stock appeared on a 90-day basis. That's on all of these reports on the Outlier 20. Palantir is up 42%. Sterling Infrastructure is up 54%. Look at this. Agnico Eagle Mines is up 27%. Talon Energy is up 53%. Also, stocks on the bottom 10, if they're down, that means that they've underperformed since they've been on this report. Dow Inc., chemical company, down 29% since it was a bottom 10. Now we have this list for financials and REITs, healthcare, consumer, and technology. Now let's go ahead and check in on the Outlier 50. Let's go ahead and look at July. Very, very popular report. This is looking at all of our top recurring names on our Outlier report on a 6-month basis. So basically, this is trying to weed out a lot of the noise and focus in on the best names in our data. We've got a really nice pie chart here telling you the sector construction, the exposure by sector. Here we can see healthcare is 22%, financials is 20%, and industrials is 18%. So if you're looking for stock picks that are not on the lips of the media, this is where you're going to want to look. So let's go ahead and look at the top 25 here. Agnico Eagle Mines, Sport Radar Group, DoorDash, Meta, Royal Caribbean, a lot of names. We come down to number 26, excuse me. You can see there has been some performance under the surface here, but some other names here. We've got Rev Group is a new name. You've got Core and Main as a new name. So if you see this new, this is telling you that it has not been on this report on a historical basis over the past month. And last but not least, as we go through navigation, you'll be able to see any of your member updates here. And then obviously, if you are a pro member, you can select the bottom as well. We hope you enjoyed this navigation video, and thanks for becoming a MoneyFlows subscriber. We'll see you on the inside.